Hello, this is Bruce Frantzis. I'm going to share with you some of the levels of Taoist meditation and guide you through a short meditation practice for how to go inside yourself. Now, Taoist meditation is an energetic form of meditation. It is a form that actually works with the energy or the chi of the body. But one of the things about Taoist meditation is the first stage of it is like every form of meditation. Just having the ability to have your mind be present enough to what you're doing without getting insanely distracted. The next stage of Taoist meditation, the way they do it, is to get you aware of the energies that flow in your body. Because thoughts are forms of energy. But then if you want something to also affect your physical body, you have to be aware of physical chi. If you want it to really affect your emotions, then you have to be aware of the chi of your emotions. And if you want to get to the deeper level of stuff in the mind, it's helpful to be aware of the energy that's at the deeper levels of your mind. So the next stage is that they do something, Laozi's tradition, does something that's called dissolving. It's about how anything that bothers you, anything that's stuck, anything that's glitched, anything that's blocked, anything you have an obstacle toward, it has energy bound into it. And if you can release that energy fully and have it dispersed throughout your system, the problems associated with it go away, as well as your body is then free to use that energy that was bound and stuck for anything else it might want to use it for. Likewise, many capacities inside human beings, talents they could have, things they could do. When the energy surrounding them is blocked, they can't do them. Where if that energy is freed, all of a sudden they can. But then, and so you can dissolve in general, and you dissolve whatever comes up in front of you. But then you go to agendas. You start dealing with specific things you know, and the phrase is, enough is enough. I want this to stop. I don't want this to continue. This must be resolved. I would imagine that people who go through wars have all sorts of traumas. I would imagine people who live through incredibly abusive situations have traumas directly related to that. I would imagine people who know that they've had talents or things they've wanted to do for 5, 10, 15, 20 years but can never do them would like to get rid of whatever's stopping them from doing them. So this is the next stage of Taoist meditation. This training circle on meditation is going to deal with this level of Taoist meditation. Now, most meditation methods don't have ways to specifically release traumas or specifically go for things you want. Taoism, they're very practical, and they say that if people do that, they'll actually be motivated to meditate. Now, once you have learned how to deal with agendas, you now have a skill for dealing with the things that really bother you in life, and also to release the potentials you have inside you. And this is something you can use to the end of your days. Because, bad things happen, as well as we all have innate abilities we'd like to be able to release. And as you get better in something, then you find there are other abilities you'd like to be able to release. Now I'd like to guide you through a short meditation practice. So something as a kind of a foundation for meditation is that you have to go inside, because that's the stuff that really bothers you. You can't change whether a building that you look at, it's 100 stories tall. I don't like a building 100 stories tall. That really ticks me off. That really makes me feel bad. What you can do is you can change what is inside you that makes you feel bad about the fact that building is 100 stories tall. But before you can change it, you have to be able to recognize that it's inside you. So put your mind on the top of your head and just let your mind begin to descend down your body. What do you find when you do this? Are your insides alive? Are they numb? Are you lost in a fog? Are you clear? If a thought or an emotion or something occurs, can you recognize it's happening inside you? Oh, you may have a thought about something that's happening across the street. Well, wait a minute. If it's going to have any particular problem, it's because of what it's doing inside you. Recognizing the fact of something, that's a 100-story building, is an entirely separate issue from what's that doing inside me. So what do you feel? Do you get body sensations? Do you get otherworldly sensations? Do you get emotional sensations? Are you experiencing a lot of space inside you? Or you experience it closed down and numb? First step is you have to be able to go inside, and you have to start recognizing what is inside. Then you can begin to deal with what's inside you. But unless you can recognize what's inside you, unless you can begin to feel it, sense it, get sensations of some kind, whether they're physical or they're who knows what they are. Until you get that, you actually can't begin the process of releasing it. And the techniques, the methods of Taoist meditation teach you how to release what's in there. And it exists in layers. Anyone, for example, who's been traumatized in a war, well, they can have the obvious thing that, oh, a bomb went off. But then you go a bit further. And inside, well, that bomb also set off the way they had emotional bombs go in their life, happen in their life earlier. Oh, it's easy just to focus on the physical one. But what about emotional bombs? At that time, you may have felt all sorts of powerful emotions, but they also could be like hundreds or thousands of other ones you felt at different times within your life. You may have been afraid, but you couldn't accept the fact that you were afraid, so you shut down not to feel anything. Many people don't like feeling afraid. It's okay. If you get far enough in meditation, you realize feeling fear or feeling an itch, it's really not that different. They're just sensations. But what are you feeling inside? What is it? And you just let your mind slowly start going through your body. And what are you feeling inside your mind? You can feel what's inside your body. You also can feel what's inside your mind. Because whether the mind is talking, making words, or it's just creating sensations which your nervous system can pick up, still it's feeling something. Can you recognize what's happening inside you? And if there's one thing that's been said about meditation methods throughout history, is that they're primarily about a person's internal world. And the fact is, as your ability to feel your internal world increases, you also find that naturally you can recognize to a greater degree of clarity what's happening in your external environment. Because what happens in your internal environment shades, changes, filters what you see outside of you. So, This, for example, is a very beginning thing in Taoist meditation. To simply gain the ability to go inside yourself and start finding out what is the relationship between your conscious mind and what's going on inside you. Thank you for listening to these videos. I hope you've gotten something useful out of them. Very shortly, we'll be opening up the Energy Arts Training Circle, and click the appropriate box and you'll find out all the details and everything else. Thank you very much.